Okay, this problem is going to focus on a kite. I know that this is a kite because not only does the problem tell us it's a kite, but when I look at the side lengths here, I see that the consecutive sides are congruent to each other, and that is a characteristic of a kite. I also see that this diagonal is the pieces are congruent, and we remember that our diagonals bisect each other. We've got our right triangle or our right angle to form our right triangles. Directions for this are basically to find the area. So remember our formula is diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So we just need to figure out what those are. Diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, and then we have to divide by 2. Now, the nice thing is when you look at our problem, we already know this diagonal. We know that diagonal, this one right here, 9 and 9. So that diagonal is 18. Easy, piece of cake. Problem is, we do not know this diagonal. Excuse my not very straight line. We don't know that diagonal. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work and we're going to have to find that. Remember, we have right triangles, and hopefully you watched the problem before when we had to do some Pythagorean theorem to find missing sides. That's exactly what we're going to do here too. We're going to do Pythagorean theorem 2 times. We're going to do one to find that side length, and then we're going to have to do it again to find this side length. Because remember, this is the diagonal in a kite that is not congruent. These diagonals are not going to, the segments are not going to be equal to each other. So we are going to have to do Pythagorean theorem twice. So for my first Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to solve for x. My right triangle is right here using the 9 and the 41. So we're going to have 9 squared plus x squared equals 41 squared. Doing some simplifying, we have 81 plus x squared equals 1681. Move over that 81 to the other side and we get 1600. And then remember, we are square rooting our two sides, and the square root of 1600 is 40. So that means this side length is equal to 40. So I'm going to get rid of my x and I'm going to put 40 in for that side length. Okay, now I'm going to repeat that process, but this time I'm going to find my y down here. Using this as my right triangle, I'm using 9 and 15, and then I'm going to use my y. So now I have 9 squared plus x squared equals 15 squared. A little simplifying, we get 81 plus x squared equals 225. We're going to move that 81 to the other side with subtraction and get x squared equals 144. Then square root, and we get x equals 12. Oh, I apologize. Those were all supposed to be y's, but hopefully you followed that. I'm going to erase my y, and I'm going to put 12 in for my y. Okay, now that we have our diagonals, we just need to do our formula now. So remember, this diagonal is 18. And then now notice our green diagonal here, we're going to do 40 plus 12 and use 52. So first diagonal is going to be 18. That's our 9 plus 9. Then our second diagonal is going to be 52. That is our 40 plus 12. And then we are going to divide by 2. Multiplying 18 times 52, we get 936 divided by 2. Go ahead and do that division, and we get 468 units squared. There is your area of this kite?